Isang magandang araw tungo sa maunlad na pagkatuto. You are currently watching a course discussion on pahinumero.com, ang educational website na dinisenyo para sa mga mag-aral na Pilipino. Dito sa Pahinumero, sumisibol ang pagkatuto. Lesson number 3. Representing real-life situations using rational functions, presented by Isame A. Sangabel. Phase 1. Learning Objectives. At the end of this lesson, the students are expected to accurately define rational functions, represent real-life situations using rational functions. Phase 2. Getting involved. Identify whether each of the following is a rational function or not. Number 1. F of x is equal to 2x squared minus 3x plus 1 all over x minus 5. This is a rational function. Number 2. G of x is equal to x squared plus square root of x all over 4. This is not a rational function. Next, h of x is equal to absolute value of x squared minus 3x plus 1 all over 2x raised to negative 3 plus x. This is not a rational function. Lastly, p of x is equal to 2x raised to 1/2, 7x raised to 1/4 all over x minus 7. Again, this is not a rational function. So later on, i-discuss natin kung bakit ito lamang ang tanging rational function among these given equations. So for our phase number 3, acquiring knowledge. First, we are going to define rational function. Previously, we have learned that functions are representations of many things around us. Now, we'll talk about a specific kind of function, the rational function. Paano po ba natin gagamitin ang rational function para mag-represent ng isang sitwasyon o phenomena? Ang rational function, of course, ay isang uri ng function. And remember, ang function, it is a type of relation wherein it has a rule that assigns each element of x to exactly one and only one element y. O sa madaling salita, any input has exactly one output. When we say rational function, it is a kind of function. In the form, f of x is equal to p of x all over q of x, wherein p of x and q of x are polynomial functions, and q of x is not equal to 0 function. Isa-isip natin ang tatlong bagay to define a rational function. Una, ito ay ratio. It's in the form of p of x over q of x. Pangalawa, p of x and q of x are polynomials. Yung ating numerator and denominator dapat parehas na polynomials. Pangatlo, q of x is not equal to 0. The denominator in a fraction cannot be 0 because division by 0 is undefined. Again, yung tatlong bagay na dapat tandaan to determine a rational function. First, it's in the form of ratio. Second, both numerator and denominator are polynomials. Third, hindi 0 ang denominator. Now, ano nga ba yung polynomials? A polynomial is an expression consisting of variables and coefficients that involves only the operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and a positive integer exponentiation of variables. Balikan po natin yung kanina nating sinagutan. Isa-isahin nating tukuyin at unawain kung bakit nasabi nating rational function yung isa and the rest of them ay hindi na. Number 1. f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 3x plus 1 all over x minus 5. It's in the form of ratio. So check both numerator and denominator are polynomials. Paano pag sinabing polynomial? Yung operation lang na nandito na matatagpuan dapat sa polynomial ay addition, subtraction, multiplication, at nakaraise lang dapat sila sa positive exponent. So check ang ating first given. Lalo't yung kanyang denominator hindi naman equal sa 0. Second, g of x is equal to x squared plus square root of x all over 4. It's in the form of ratio. Correct. But the question here, ang ating numerator, is it polynomial? No. Dahil meron tayong square root of x. And this is not a polynomial. Square root of x, this is equal to x raised to 1/2. And 1/2, yes, it's positive, but it is not an integer. Tandaan po natin ang pasok lamang sa definisyon ng polynomial. Positive integer ang exponents, otherwise, hindi na siya polynomial. Technically, this is not a rational function. Next, h of x is equal to absolute value of x squared minus 3x plus 1 all over 2x raised to negative 3 plus x. First, yung ating numerator. Meron tayo ditong operation na absolute value, which is not part of the definition of a polynomial. And yung ating denominator, yung variable x natin, it contains a negative integer exponent, negative 3. Therefore, it is not a polynomial. Both numerator and denominator are not polynomials. So therefore, this is not a rational function. Lastly, p of x is equal to 2x raised to 1/2 plus x raised to 1/4 all over x minus 7. The denominator is a polynomial. But the numerator, nakaraise ang ating dalawang x sa parehas ng positive pero hindi integer. 1/2 is not integer, 1/4 is not an integer. Remember that fractions and decimals, they are not integers. So therefore, this is not a rational function. Let's say we have 2x plus 3 all over 3x plus 5 is equal to 0. Is this a rational function? No, this is just an equation. It just states that this expression is equal to 0. And nothing more than that. Ito lang ang sinasabi niya. Para maging function siya, dapat ay isinulat natin ito sa paraang f of x is equal to 2x plus 3 all over 3x plus 5. And this is a function. And this is a rational function as well. Dahil first, it's in the form of ratio. Second, both the numerator and denominator are polynomials. And lastly, ang ating denominator, this is not 0. So therefore, this is a rational function. Next, if we have f of x is equal to 3x squared plus 5x minus 4 all over 3x. Is this a rational function? Yes, it is. It's in the form of ratio. Check. Both numerator and denominator are polynomials. Check. And the denominator is not equal to 0. So check. This is a rational function. And that's how we define a rational function. Rational function, it is a kind of function in the form of f of x is equal to p of x all over qx, where p of x and q of x are polynomial functions, and q of x is not equal to 0 function. Ngayon na malinaw na po sa atin kung ano ang rational function, dadako na tayo sa ikalawang objective ng ating lesson. Represent real-life situations using rational functions. Remember that solving real-life problems is the heart of doing mathematics. We shall realize the importance of using the mathematical models, for if we can see its relevance to our life, we'll appreciate how it actually helps us find solutions to life problems. Isang importanteng skill sa pag-solve ng problem is the ability to transform the given problems using functions or ibang mathematical models that describe the problem. At magagawa lamang nating maitransform ang isang sitwasyon sa isang mathematical model or function if and only if naiintindihan natin kung ano mismo yung konteksto o sitwasyon. Tandaan natin na mahirap pong maghanap ng solusyon kung hindi naman natin naiintindihan mismo kung ano ba talaga yung problema. Thus, in this part of our discussion, we'd like to emphasize the importance of the process of understanding. Madedevelop at ma-enhance lamang natin ang skill na ito kung tuloy-tuloy tayo sa pagpapractice. Now, let's learn from these succeeding examples. Let's say we have Gerson and Cedric. They are students from sports track of Laguna State Polytechnic University. They decided to practice sprinting. Gerson runs 9 km per hour faster than Cedric. When Gerson traveled a distance of 93 km, Cedric went 66 km. Represent the time that each of them spent sprinting. So, what is asked? We are just tasked to represent the situation using a function. Specifically, gagamit tayo dito ng rational function. Why? Because we all know the equation. Distance is equal to the product of the speed and the time. Tandaan natin na motion problems are usually modeled by rational functions. When solving motion problems, we should recall the distance is equal to the product of the speed and the time. In this case, this is a motion problem. Ang hinahanap natin is yung time. Yung time na iginugol ni Gerson and Cedric sa kanilang practice sprinting. And this simply means that we have to form or represent a rational function for each of them. Isang representation for Gerson and isang representation for Cedric. And now, we are going to use this formula. And since ang hinahanap natin dito, time, ibig sabihin, kailangan natin mag-derive ng formula out of this general formula. And so, time is equal to distance over speed. Kung hinahanap naman natin ay speed, edi syempre ang gagamitin natin ay distance over time. But in this problem, we are going to use this distance over speed since time ang hinahanap natin. So, malinaw na sa atin kung ano ang ating gagawin, mag-represent ng function, rational function, and meron tayong given. So, para mas madali nating makita yung given, gumawa tayo ng table. First, sprinter, we have Cedric and Gerson. Si Cedric, ang na-cover niyang distance is 66 km. At ang kanyang speed, walang naka-indicate kung ano yung kanyang speed. So, therefore, we are going to use X as the representation of his speed. And yung time, that's question mark. Next, we have Gerson. Gerson covered 93 km. At ang kanyang speed, naka-indicate dito na he's 9 km per hour faster than Cedric. So, ilalagay natin na x plus 9. Kung si Cedric ang kanyang speed ay x, gagawin lang natin x plus 9 yung kay Gerson since nakalagay dito na he's faster than Cedric, 9 km per hour. And yung time, that's a question mark. Since nandito na nga ang ating data naka-table, so ang ating gagamitin na operation is division. Dahil nga ang ating sinusunod na formula is time is equal to distance over speed. At para makuha natin yung time dito, simple lang. For Cedric, we have distance over speed, so 66 over x. And for Gerson, distance over speed, so 93 over x plus 9. And that's it. Pinapa-represent lang naman sa atin kung ano yung time for the both of them. So, another example tayo. Madalas gamitin ang rational function, sabi nga natin kanina, sa mga motion problem. Pag may motion problem tayo, tandaan natin yung formula na distance is equal to the product of the speed and the time. Isa pang madalas na application ng rational function sa real-life situation ay yung mga problem na may kinalaman sa work or work problem. A nice application of rational function involves the amount of work a person or team of persons can do in a certain amount of time. Halimbawa, if kayang magtahi ni Jewel ng 30 shirts in 4 hours at si Anne ay kaya niyang gawin ang same job for 5 hours, how long will it take them to finish the same job if they work together? So, kung magtatrabaho sila ng magkasama, ilang oras na lang kaya yung gugugulin nila para matapos na makapagtahi ng 30 shirts? So, time ang ating hinahanap. We note that time is expressed as time is equal to work over rate. Saan nagmula ito? Tandaan natin ang formula ng work problem. Ito po ay work is equal to the product of rate and time. Since time ang ating hinahanap, we have to derive the formula. So finding the formula for time, we have work over rate. Ito ang ating gagamitin to solve the problem. Now, ang ating work ay isa lang. Isang trabaho lang po yung magtahi ng damit. Although 30 na damit ang kailangan nilang gawin, still, isang trabaho pa rin ang magtahi ng damit. So we write time is equal to, ang ating work ay 1. So we will write 1. 1 over R. Paano natin malalaman ngayon kung ano yung R o rate? Kailangan muna natin makuha yung rate first para makompute natin ang time. The combination of forces or lakas paggawa ni Jewel and Ann ang nasa scenario. Combination meaning we have to add first yung rate nila. Jewel can finish one work in 4 hours, so that will be 1/4. 1/4 ang kanyang rate. Si Ann naman can finish the work in 5 hours, so 1/5 ang kanyang rate. Combining 1/4 plus 1/5, we will have 9 over 20. So we just simply perform the addition sa fraction. At sana po ay natatandaan pa natin kung paano ito i-perform. First, we get the LCD of 4 and 5, and that's 20. So we have over 20. Now, 20 divide 4, that's 5 times 1. It's 5, so 5 over 20 plus 20 divide 5, that's 4. 4 times 1, that's 4 over 20. So ayan, parehas na sila ng denominator ngayon, pwede na natin silang i-add. 5 over 20 plus 4 over 20 is equal to 9 over 20. This is now the rate. Ngayon, babalik tayo sa ating naunang formula na isinulat kanina. Yung time is equal to work over rate. Dahil nga naisulat na rin natin kanina na ang ating time is equal to 1, dahil 1 yung ating work, over rate. So now na na-compute na natin yung rate which is 9 over 20, papalitan lang natin yung R natin ng 9 over 20. So we will have time is equal to 1 over 9 over 20. Ngayon, division ang ating ipe-perform sa kasong ito. At madali lang siya. We have 1 divided by 9 over 20. So this is equal to 1 over 1 times reciprocal ng 9 over 20. That's 20 over 9. And it is equal to 20 over 9 or 2 and 2, 9. Ito po ang ating sagot. Pag nagtulong si Ann at Jewel, makakatapos sila ng isang work sa loob lamang ng 2 and 2, 9 hours. Phase 4, Applying Knowledge. 3 painters are supposed to paint the bridge. The first one would get this work done in 5 days, the second one in 6 days, and the third one in 7.5 days. How long it will take to paint the whole bridge if they will work together? Your time starts now. Time's up. Here's the solution. We have the given. Si Painter 1 kaya niyang tapusin ang trabaho sa loob ng 5 days, Painter 2, 6 days, and Painter 3, 7.5 days. Ang ating work ay to paint the bridge, and that is exactly one work. So work is equal to 1. Ang ating unknown ay time. Gaano katagal? How long will it take them to finish the work if they are going to work together? So, to solve this given problem, it is crucial to recall yung ating formula sa work problem. We know that work is equal to rate multiplied sa time. And in this case, we are going to find the time. So tayo ay magdi-derive ng formula. From work is equal to rate times time. Ang ating hinahanap ay time, so time is equal to work over rate. Kanina, isulat natin sa ating given that ang work natin is equal to 1. So we have work is equal to 1. So that's 1 over rate. Ano kaya yung rate? And for us to find out kung ano yung ating rate, kukunin lang natin yung rate ng bawat isang painter at i-add natin together. So first, we have painter 1, kaya niyang tapusin yung isang work sa loob ng 5 days. So that's 1/5. Si painter 2, kaya niyang tapusin ang work sa loob ng 6 days. So that's 1/6. And si painter 3, kaya niyang tapusin ang work sa loob ng 7.5 days. So that's 1/7.5. And if we are going to perform the operations of addition sa fraction, lalabas na ang suma total ng rate ng ating tatlong painter ay 1/2. So we have work is equal to 1 and rate is equal to 1/2. So work over rate, that's 1/1/2. And 1/1/2 is equal to 2. So therefore, ang ating time ay 2. And that's our final answer. The 3 painters can finish painting a bridge in just 2 days. Phase 5 key points to remember. When we say rational function, it is a kind of function in the form f of x is equal to p of x all over q of x, wherein p of x and q of x are polynomial functions, and q of x is not equal to 0 function. A polynomial is an expression consisting of variables and coefficients that involves only the operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and a positive integer exponentiation of variables. The denominator in a fraction cannot be 0 because division by 0 is undefined. The formula for the motion problem: distance is equal to the product of speed and time. The formula for the work problem: work is equal to the product of rate and time. At dito po natatapos ang ating discussion sa lesson na ito. So we have here a quotation. The only way to learn mathematics is to do mathematics, according to Paul Helmus.
Isang malugod na pagbati at tatapos na nating talakayin ang aralin. You can use the available reading material posted below para ma-review ang ating lesson. And for your practice drills, hinihimo ka namin na sagutan ng activity na matatagpuan din mismo sa ibaba nitong video. Hasain ang iyong kakayahan, pagyamanin ang iyong natutunan sa paksang ito. Again, this is Isa May San Gabriel. Muli tayong magkita-kita sa susunod na course discussion. Dito sa Pahinumero, sumisibol ang pagkatuto.